Hello, I'm Damon Bailey from IELTS Whiz. In this lesson, we will examine completion tasks for the IELTS listening test. Let's look at the features of completion listening tasks. Completion tasks include form completion, note completion, table completion, flowchart completion, and also summary completion. These types of listening tasks are testing your ability to predict the kind of information that is necessary to complete tables, charts, forms, notes, or to complete a summary of the recording that you hear. You will be required to fill in gaps where there is missing information. You will be given a specific word limit. And it's important you do not exceed the word limit or your answers will not be given any marks. When completing a table, flowchart, note, or form, there is no need to write an article such as the, a, or an. They can be left out as they're not necessary. If you do a summary completion task, you are completing a sentence, and in this situation, you will need to include an article so the sentence is grammatically correct. Information in the recording will normally be expressed differently than what you read on the question paper. When you do this type of listening task, the information you hear will always be in the same order as the recording. This kind of listening will often occur in section 1 of the IELTS listening test, which is the easiest section of the test. So how should you do completion tasks during the listening test? Firstly, read the instructions and take note of the word limit. Be sure not to exceed this limit and remember to check this when you transfer your answers to the answer sheet. For example, write no more than 2 words and/or a number. Look at each question and try to predict what kind of information is needed for each of the answers. You will get about 20 to 30 seconds to do this. For example, will you be listening for a person's name, a street name, a place name, a date, a phone number, a number of hours, a number of weeks, or the length of a course? Underline the keywords or key phrases in the questions that you think you may hear during the listening. Think about possible synonyms or paraphrases for the keywords or key phrases in the question. For example, we could paraphrase first bus departs at by saying earliest bus leaves at, or buses start at. Closest station could be paraphrased by saying the nearest bus stop is, and terminates at could be paraphrased by saying the final station is. Understand which question is first and which piece of information will come next. Then follow the listening in the same order as the questions, which will be in numerical order. This will help you to follow the listening when doing tasks such as table completion. Always write what you hear for each answer. Make sure you do not change the phrase or the word to try to make it fit your listening task. Make sure you understand and predict whether you will need to use a unit of measurement or a period of time. Units of measurement include kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. Periods of time include seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, or a fortnight, which is 2 weeks, months, years, or maybe even decades or centuries. Let's look at some tips to help improve your score. Learning to identify the different kind of task you're about to complete will mean you know what you need to listen for and you'll be able to use your time more effectively. Forms can be used to record facts and details like names or addresses. Sets of notes can be used to summarize information in order to show how various items relate to each other. Tables can be used to summarize information that relates to a specific category, for example, price, place, or time. Flowcharts are used to summarize the distinct stages in a process. Summaries are a list of sentences that summarize the content of the listening. Some things in the listening won't be paraphrased. When there's specific terminology that cannot be paraphrased, you can be pretty sure you will hear the exact words. For example, if you're labeling a diagram of the human brain and you have to match letters A, B, C, D, E, F with specific names for parts of the brain such as cerebellum, cerebrum, spinal cord, or thalamus, you can be pretty sure you're going to hear these exact words. It is then up to you to listen to the directions the speaker gives you so you can match each letter with the correct name for each part. Let's look at some of the difficulties people often face when doing completion tasks. Often during the IELTS listening test, a speaker will spell out a name, saying every letter of the name. This makes it easy to spell the answer, but be careful because the other speaker may correct what the first person has said. For example, is that Henderson? No, it's Sen. This means the correct spelling is Hendersen. Speakers in the recording may also spell out words or say numbers using the double or triple phrase. This is quite common during this type of IELTS listening. For example, a name such as Perry may be said as P-E-R-R-Y. Or, for a phone number such as 366-7333, may be said as 366-733. Speakers may also correct themselves during the listening, so it's important not to rush to write down the first answer you hear, but to confirm that you have the correct answer. For example, oh wait, I just checked and we have a booking on the 23rd. The next available date will be the 25th. Countries that use English as their first language have a variety of different currencies. Here are the most commonly used currencies that will be mentioned during the IELTS listening test. In America, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, they will use dollars. In England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, they will use pounds. In the Republic of Ireland, they will use euro. Now you can try a sample listening exercise to practice this type of question. Download the practice questions, then listen to the audio file and try to complete the activity using the tips and strategies you've learnt in this video. When you've finished, download the answer key and check your answers. In the next lesson, we will look at sentence completion questions. So I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.